Imagine that 2,000 years ago, a group of philosophers in ancient Greece and Rome laid down a series of principles so profound that they remain profoundly relevant today. This isn't just a relic of the past, but a toolkit for transforming your life in the modern world. What if I told you that these principles, known collectively as Stoicism, offer not just wisdom, but practical solutions to enhance resilience, reduce stress, and increase overall happiness? So, why wait for change when you can initiate it right now? Let's embark on this journey of discovery and transformation together and unlock the Stoic superpowers that you already possess. Each section of this video will not only delve deep into a principle, but will also connect it to modern-day scenarios, making ancient wisdom applicable to your daily life. Get ready to challenge your perceptions, change your responses, and cultivate a life of purpose and peace. Stay tuned as we unpack these transformative insights, and don't forget, each principle builds on the last. So keep watching as we connect the dots to a more resilient you. Principle 1. Understand what you can control. Have you ever felt like you were struggling against the tide, expending energy but making no real progress? This feeling often stems from a focus on things outside our control. The Stoic philosophers proposed a radical shift in focus, honing in on what we can actually influence: our actions, our responses, and our judgments. Consider the story of Admiral James Stockdale, who was held captive during the Vietnam War. Stockdale attributed his survival to a Stoic mindset, focusing solely on his responses and attitudes, rather than the dire circumstances over which he had no control. This principle isn't just about survival. It's about thriving in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Visuals could enhance this section by depicting the dichotomy of control through a simple chart, one side showing elements outside our control like the weather or traffic, and the other showing what we can control, such as our reaction to traffic or our preparedness for weather changes. Such visuals serve as a clear, immediate reminder of where our focus should lie. Interactive elements can further engage the audience. Pose a question. Think of a recent frustration. Was it due to factors outside your control? This encourages viewers to apply the principle in real time, fostering a deeper connection with the content. As we transition to the next principle, consider how shifting your focus to areas within your control could reduce stress and increase your effectiveness. Stay tuned, because next we'll explore how refining our perception can dramatically alter our experience of the world. By keeping the pacing lively and interspersing light humor, perhaps joking about how we can't control the weather yet, despite our best technological advances, the script remains engaging and accessible. Remember, each Stoic principle builds upon the last, creating a comprehensive toolkit for personal resilience and tranquility. Principle 2. Work on your perception. Did you know that Marcus Aurelius, once the most powerful man on earth, faced betrayal, plague, and war during his reign? Yet he famously asserted that our lives are what our thoughts make it. This brings us to our second Stoic principle. Work on your perception. It's not the events themselves, but our views on them, that shape our experiences. Imagine you're stuck in a traffic jam and you're late for a meeting. You can stew in frustration, or you can see it as an opportunity to listen to a favorite podcast or audiobook. The situation hasn't changed, but your experience of it can transform entirely based on your perception. For a visual boost, imagine a split-screen video showing two reactions to the same event. On one side, a person reacts with anger and stress, while on the other, someone remains calm, utilizing the time productively. This powerful imagery not only illustrates the principle, but also shows its practical application in everyday life. Now, think about a recent event that upset you. Ask yourself, could a change in perception have altered my experience? This interactive element not only engages, but also personalizes the experience, making the Stoic wisdom directly applicable to the viewer. As we wrap up this section, consider how adopting a more flexible and positive outlook could not only change your day-to-day life, but transform your overall well-being. Up next, we'll explore how taking responsibility for your actions can further empower you. Stay tuned, as this next principle is a game-changer in harnessing the true power of Stoicism. Throughout this exploration, we keep our tone enthusiastic and our pace varied, mixing deeper, reflective moments with quicker, more energetic bursts of insight. This dynamic pacing ensures that the content remains engaging and thought-provoking. Humor, when used, is light and relatable, perhaps joking about how changing our perception might not make Monday mornings any easier, but can certainly make them less daunting. Principle 3. Take responsibility for your actions. Have you ever heard the tale of Alexander the Great and the Gordian knot? Faced with an intricate knot that no one could untie, Alexander sliced it with his sword, effectively solving the problem by taking decisive action. This historical anecdote mirrors our third Stoic principle beautifully: taking responsibility for your actions. It's about acknowledging that your choices, not your circumstances, define your life's path. This principle encourages us to own our decisions and their consequences, whether they lead to success or setbacks. For instance, if you commit to a project at work, taking full responsibility means giving it your best effort, regardless of the distractions or difficulties that arise. It's about embracing both the power and the pressure of making your own choices. To visualize this concept, consider a graphic timeline showing two paths. One path branches off where a person takes responsibility, and the other where they blame circumstances. Each decision point leads to different outcomes, illustrating how taking control of one's actions can lead to more positive results. Now, let's make it interactive. Ask yourself, when was the last time I blamed an external factor for my failure? Reflecting on this can help you shift from a mindset of externalization to one of empowerment. As we conclude this section, think about how empowering it feels to take charge of your life. Coming up next, we delve into the power of mindfulness, a principle that teaches us to live fully in the present while making conscious decisions. Don't miss it as we explore how being present can enhance every aspect of your life. Throughout this segment, we maintain an enthusiastic tone, occasionally injecting humor to keep the mood light. For example, joking about how we can't blame traffic for our missed workouts. By alternating between reflective insights and proactive challenges, we keep you engaged and motivated to apply these principles to your life. Principle 4. Practice mindfulness. Imagine you're Julius Caesar walking through the bustling markets of ancient Rome, completely absorbed in the moment, observing every detail, every sound, every scent. This is mindfulness, the art of being fully present and engaged with the here and now, just as the Stoics practiced it. Mindfulness allows us to savor life's experiences and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. In today's fast-paced world, mindfulness is more relevant than ever. It's not just about meditating quietly in a serene environment, but also about being fully present in everyday activities, such as eating, walking, or listening to others. Picture this: A split-screen video showing one side where a person mindlessly scrolls through their phone while eating, and on the other, someone fully engaged in the taste and texture of their meal. This visual can powerfully illustrate how mindfulness changes our experience of everyday activities. Now, let's interact. Pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Notice the air filling your lungs and your body's sensations as you exhale. How often do you really pause to feel such simple actions? This exercise isn't just to relax you momentarily, it's to introduce you to a practice that can transform the mundane into the meaningful. As we wrap up this section on mindfulness, consider how applying this principle can enhance your focus, reduce stress, and increase your enjoyment of life. But don't go yet. Up next, we'll explore how embracing challenges as opportunities can radically shift our perspective towards life's inevitable obstacles. Stay tuned to learn how to turn every difficulty into a stepping stone for personal growth. The tone remains lively and encouraging, with occasional humor to keep things light. Maybe a quip about how even coffee tastes better when you're not gulping it down on your way out the door. As we transition between topics, we maintain a dynamic flow, keeping you engaged and eager to see how these ancient practices are not only relevant, but essential for modern living. Principle 5. Embrace challenges as opportunities. Did you know that when the famous Stoic philosopher Seneca was exiled to Corsica, he used this time not for despair, but for deep study and writing, which later became some of his greatest works? This is a classic example of embracing challenges as opportunities, a powerful Stoic principle that encourages us to transform obstacles into stepping stones. Imagine facing a significant setback at work, like a project failure. You could dwell on the negatives or, following the Stoic way, you could analyze what went wrong, learn from these insights, and come back stronger and more prepared. To visually emphasize this principle, a before and after scenario could be illustrated, showing the initial setback and the subsequent triumph, reinforcing the message that every challenge holds the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Let's engage directly now. Think about a recent challenge you faced. How did you respond? Was there an opportunity for growth hidden within that challenge? Encouraging viewers to reflect on their personal experiences not only makes the session interactive, but also deepens the understanding of how this principle can be applied in everyday life. As we conclude this section, think about the resilience and strength you can build by shifting your perspective on challenges. Excitingly, up next, we'll explore the Stoic practice of virtue and integrity, and how these ancient ideals can have a profound impact on your modern life. So, stay tuned to discover how cultivating these qualities can lead not only to personal success, but also to a more ethical and fulfilling life. The tone here remains upbeat and engaging, mixing thoughtful insights with quick, energetic bursts of encouragement. Humor might be lightly sprinkled throughout, perhaps by joking about how even coffee spills can be seen as an opportunity to practice patience and maybe even clean that long-neglected desk drawer. By continually inviting viewers to see their personal growth in every obstacle, the content stays relatable and compelling, driving home the message that the Stoic way is not just about surviving life's challenges, but thriving through them. Principle 6. Practice virtue and integrity. Imagine the ancient marketplace of Athens, where Socrates would challenge the moral compass of his fellow citizens. This scene captures the essence of our next principle, practicing virtue and integrity. Stoicism teaches us that the foundation of a good life is virtue. Qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. It's not enough to know what's right. The real test is in doing what's right, even when it's difficult. Take the historical example of Cato the Younger, who was renowned for his steadfast moral character, refusing bribes and resisting corruption in a Rome rife with vice. His life challenges us. How often do we stand firm in our values, especially when we stand to gain by compromising them? Visual aids could show a scale balancing a bag of gold against a virtuous heart, symbolizing the internal struggle between gain and integrity. Now, let's interact. Think of a time when you faced a choice between an easy benefit and the harder right. How did you decide? Inviting viewers to reflect on such decisions encourages a deeper connection with the principle of virtue and its impact on their lives. As we conclude this segment, consider how embracing virtue not only guides you to act ethically, but enriches your life with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Stay tuned, because what's coming next is crucial. We'll delve into how developing emotional resilience can help you maintain your integrity in the face of life's storms. Prepare to explore strategies that allow you to remain calm and composed, no matter what challenges arise. The pacing is dynamic, blending slow reflections on the importance of moral choices with quick, energetic explanations of how these virtues apply in everyday scenarios. We use light humor to keep the mood upbeat, perhaps joking about how choosing broccoli over chips at lunch isn't just a healthy choice, but a virtuous battle against temptation. By continuously engaging with the audience and revisiting key themes, we reinforce the message that virtue isn't just for philosophers, it's practical, everyday wisdom that shapes the quality of our lives. Principle 7. Develop emotional resilience. Picture a Stoic philosopher in the midst of a chaotic marketplace, calm and composed, while around him people are lost in the frenzy of commerce and noise. This image perfectly encapsulates our next principle, developing emotional resilience. It's about maintaining inner peace in the face of life's turbulence, not by avoiding emotions, but by managing them wisely. Let's consider Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust. In the darkest of circumstances, he discovered profound strength by finding meaning in his suffering and choosing his attitude despite his external conditions. His story illustrates the ultimate test of emotional resilience, finding the capacity to endure great adversity while maintaining one's dignity and spirit. Visual aids here could include a stormy sea with a lighthouse standing firm against the waves, a powerful metaphor for emotional resilience. This image reinforces the concept of being unshaken by the surrounding turmoil. How about making this personal? Reflect on a moment when you felt overwhelmed by emotions. What strategies did you use to regain your composure? Inviting viewers to share their experiences in the comments can foster a community dialogue about coping strategies and personal growth. As we close this section, imagine the profound impact mastering this principle could have on your life. Up next, we'll explore the reflective practice of Stoicism, how regular self-examination can enhance your understanding and application of these principles in everyday life. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into how self-awareness not only aids in emotional resilience, but also empowers you to live more authentically. The pace is intentionally varied, interspersing reflective moments that allow viewers to absorb the depth of the principle with quicker segments that convey practical tips and techniques. Light humor might be used to ease the intensity, perhaps with a quip about not letting a spilled coffee ruin your day. By engaging viewers with interactive questions and encouraging them to participate, the content remains engaging and impactful, ensuring the principles discussed are not just heard, but truly integrated into daily life. Principle 8. Reflect. Often. Reflecting on one's life is not merely an act of reminiscence, but a profound exercise in self-improvement. Imagine the great philosopher Socrates, who famously stated, "The unexamined life is not worth living." This echoes the Stoic commitment to self-reflection, a practice that not only fosters deeper understanding, but also guides personal growth and resilience. Consider the diary of Marcus Aurelius, where he penned his meditations. These were not mere records of daily events, but deep reflections on his behavior, thoughts, and emotions, helping him live according to his Stoic beliefs. His writings offer a powerful example of how regular reflection can serve as a mirror, revealing both our strengths and areas needing improvement. To visually underscore this principle, imagine a series of images depicting a person at various points in their day, pausing, thinking, and jotting down thoughts in a journal. These visuals reinforce the idea of reflection as an integral part of daily life, a tool for continuous self-assessment and personal development. Now, let's engage directly. When was the last time you truly reflected on your actions and their motives? Encourage viewers to think about this question, perhaps even prompting them to start their own reflective journal. This interaction not only personalizes the principle, but also encourages practical application. As we wrap up this section, consider the transformative power of making reflection a daily habit. Looking ahead, our next principle will explore accepting what happens in life, a Stoic practice that teaches us to embrace rather than resist the flow of events. Stay tuned to discover how acceptance can lead to greater peace and resilience in your life. The pace here is contemplative yet dynamic, interspersing thoughtful prompts with quick, practical tips on integrating reflection into everyday routines. Light humor might be sprinkled throughout, perhaps with a playful comment on how even a moment of reflection can prevent future facepalm moments. By continuously engaging with the audience and revisiting key themes, we ensure the content is both impactful and memorable, making the ancient practice of Stoic reflection relevant and accessible to a modern audience. Principle 9. Accept what happens. Imagine standing on the banks of a mighty river, watching the water flow smoothly around rocks and branches, never stopping, never struggling against the obstacles in its path. This natural acceptance is at the heart of our next Stoic principle, accepting what happens. Stoicism teaches that peace comes not from controlling the external world, but from aligning with it, embracing whatever life brings with equanimity. Think of the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who once said, "Do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go well." His teachings emphasize the liberation found in acceptance, shifting our focus from resistance to adaptation. To illustrate this visually, consider a graphic of a tree bending in the wind, flexible and resilient, not breaking despite the storm. This image powerfully conveys the idea of acceptance as an active, rather than passive, state. Actively adapting and finding ways to thrive, regardless of circumstances. Now, let's engage you directly. Reflect on a recent event that didn't go as planned. How did you react? How might a perspective of acceptance change your response in the future? This interactive prompt encourages viewers to apply the principle to their own lives, deepening their understanding and potential for growth. As we conclude this discussion on acceptance, think about the calm and strength you could cultivate by embracing life's unpredictability. What's coming next is equally powerful. we'll explore the principle of practicing dispassion, which teaches us to maintain a healthy detachment from transient desires and emotions. Stay tuned to learn how mastering your desires rather than being mastered by them can transform your experience of life. The pace of this section is balanced, with moments of reflection interspersed with more dynamic, explanatory passages. Light humor might be used to ease the acceptance of daily annoyances, perhaps joking about how even the best-laid plans often go awry. Through engaging visuals, personal interaction, and thoughtful narration, we reinforce the importance of acceptance in building a resilient, joyful life. Principle 10. Practice dispassion. Did you know that one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, was also a Roman emperor? Amidst the immense power and luxury, he practiced dispassion, maintaining a deliberate detachment from the transient pleasures and pains of life. This Stoic discipline teaches us to experience life's highs and lows without letting them dictate our inner peace. Imagine navigating life as if sailing through a great storm at sea. The waves are your emotions and desires. They can be tumultuous and unpredictable. Practicing dispassion is like being the captain of your ship, steadying it not by stopping the waves, but by not letting them toss you about. Visualize this through an animation of a sturdy ship in a stormy sea, maintaining its course despite the wild waters. This powerful image can help viewers visualize maintaining calm and control in turbulent times. Now, engage with this concept. Recall a recent situation where you felt overwhelmed by strong emotions or desires. What was the outcome? How might your experience have changed if you had approached it with dispassion? Asking the viewers to reflect on personal experiences like this makes the Stoic principle more relatable and applicable. As we wrap up this section, think about the freedom and clarity you can gain from mastering your responses to external stimuli. Excited for what's next? Our upcoming discussion will delve into valuing your time, a principle that encourages mindful and purposeful living. Stay tuned to learn how effective time management not only enhances productivity, but also enriches your life's quality. Throughout this segment, the tone remains enthusiastic and the pacing varied, mixing slower, thoughtful digressions on the philosophical implications of dispassion with more practical, advice-driven sections. Moments of humor might be gently woven in, perhaps with a playful analogy about not letting a rainy day wash away one's plans, emphasizing the importance of emotional stability regardless of circumstances. By continuously engaging with the audience through interactive questions and compelling visuals, this section not only informs but also inspires viewers to explore the benefits of Stoic dispassion in their daily lives. Principle 11. Value your time. How often do you consider the value of your time? Benjamin Franklin famously said, "Do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of." This encapsulates our next Stoic principle beautifully, valuing your time. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about prioritizing your life's activities based on what's truly important, not just what's urgent. Imagine you have a bank account that each morning receives $86,400. Each night it writes off as lost whatever you failed to use wisely that day. Wouldn't you make every effort to spend every penny? Now, consider that we all have such a bank account, our time. Each day we are given 86,400 seconds. Visual aids here could include a countdown clock, emphasizing how every second counts, adding urgency and a visual punch to the importance of time management. Let's engage further. Think about your typical day. What activities do you prioritize, and what could you cut out to make more room for what truly enriches your life? This question not only encourages self-reflection, but also prompts practical changes in daily routines. As we conclude this section, reflect on how recognizing the value of every moment can transform your approach to life and work. What's up next is equally vital. We will delve into the final Stoic principle, preparing for challenges, which teaches us to anticipate and adapt to life's inevitable ups and downs. Stay tuned to discover strategies that prepare you to face whatever life throws your way with grace and fortitude. Maintaining a dynamic and passionate tone, we oscillate between reflective insights and actionable advice, ensuring the pacing keeps you engaged. Light humor might punctuate the discussion, perhaps with a quip about how spending time watching cat videos might not be the wisest investment of your precious seconds. By weaving interactive elements, compelling visuals, and periodic callbacks to earlier principles, this section not only educates but also motivates viewers to take action and make the most of every minute. Principle 12. Prepare for challenges. Have you ever considered how the Stoics, known for their resilience and wisdom, approached the unpredictability of life? They practiced what's known as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This Stoic exercise involves envisioning potential challenges and setbacks to prepare mentally and emotionally for them. It's like a fire drill for life's emergencies, ensuring that when difficulties arise, you're not caught off guard. Take the historical example of Admiral Horatio Nelson before the Battle of Trafalgar. He meticulously planned for various combat scenarios, which played a crucial role in his victory. Nelson's preparation illustrates the power of anticipation in overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. To bring this concept to life visually, imagine an animation showing a chess player thinking several moves ahead, contemplating various outcomes. This visual metaphor underscores the strategic element of preparing for challenges, emphasizing that life, much like chess, often requires thinking ahead to navigate effectively. Now, let's make this interactive. Reflect on an upcoming event or potential challenge in your life. What are the best and worst outcomes you can anticipate? How can you prepare for these scenarios? Encouraging viewers to engage in this mental exercise not only demonstrates the principle's applicability, but also enhances their proactive thinking skills. As we conclude this exploration of Stoic principles, remember that preparing for challenges doesn't just equip you to handle adversity. It also builds confidence and peace of mind. Coming up next, we'll recap the transformative journey we've embarked on together through these 12 principles, reinforcing how each can be integrated into your daily life to foster resilience, clarity, and purpose. The tone throughout this section remains energetic and motivational, interspersed with slower, thoughtful moments that allow viewers to absorb the significance of the teachings. Light humor might be sprinkled throughout, perhaps with a playful suggestion about not needing to prepare for alien invasions. Yet, by engaging viewers with compelling visuals, interactive questions, and thoughtful callbacks to previous principles, this section not only educates, but also empowers viewers to actively shape their response to life's inevitable challenges. As we draw to the close of our exploration of Stoicism, let's take a moment to recap the transformative journey we've undertaken. We've navigated through 12 fundamental principles, each offering unique insights and practical applications to enhance your daily life. From embracing what you can control to preparing for challenges, these principles are not just philosophical ideals, but tools for living a more fulfilled and resilient life. Now, I invite you to engage directly. Which of these principles resonated most with you? How do you envision applying this principle in your life? Encourage viewers to comment their thoughts and